We got Dragon Ball Super. We got One Piece. We got NBA. We got White Man Dan. And we got gaming stuff. And we have a special guest today. This is the expansion pack. All right, y'all, welcome back. This would be episode 5. Actually, this rendition of the expansion pack is called the Dan and Jay Show, also known as the DJ Show. And the reason why it's the DJ Show, Dan?
Because we got a special guest, DJ Sohan.
Nah. Anywho, he'll be on with us in a little bit for some NBA content, and we'll go over some gaming stuff as well. But for the people who don't know, we actually don't have any. Well, we have content, but we don't have any Dragon Ball Super or One Piece content. First, get into Dragon Ball Super. We don't have any content on that one because they actually didn't have the show air this week. They're doing the Tokyo Marathon. So the next time that you'll be seeing Dragon Ball Super would be 129. Will be episode 129. Will be on March 4th. It'll be March 4th. So don't get on YouTube like me and get trolled by things that are not episode 129. Because I watched a whole 5 minutes of the stuff and it turned into some animation. I'm like, this is not what I'm supposed to be looking at. So there's that. So yeah, March 4th is when it'll be back, and then we'll be going over that stuff. And then also we have One Piece. They didn't have manga this week either. I got this information from Roy this morning. I called him all the way out, and I'm pretty sure they're in Ohio.
Yeah, Youngstown, Ohio.
In Youngstown, Ohio, just to bug him about that. So yeah, apparently One Piece manga, the guy works a lot and he has breaks and he takes his time, so ain't nobody mad about that, because if the manga's as long as the anime, if not longer, I completely understand.
Well, the good thing is that it doesn't really affect me that much because I've invested 0 time in both of those. So
well, there you go on that one. But I still have One Piece stuff, so I'm on episode 23 right now, right? And so where we're at in there is Usopp has finally become a part of the crew. Last time they were still fighting that one dude that was doing the slump god move and cutting people up with cat fingers and shit. That was weird. There's some weird things that goes on there, man. But yeah, so that guy got his ass kicked. They took Usopp with them. They set the sea, and they ran up on this food boat. And that food boat is pretty much a bunch of just ex-con ass pirates, and they feed pirates, and when pirates get buck with them, they beat their ass too. So that was cool. And so one of the badass pirates popped up on there. I forgot his name.
Jack Sparrow.
I forgot dude's name. Don't get mad at me. But apparently he was supposed to be the most badass pirate. And he was starving because they went to the Grand Line and they got their ass whooped by I think dude named Hawkeye. It's a damn shame. I remember Hawkeye name, but I don't remember the dude name. And Hawkeye just popped up. That should tell you how raw Hawkeye is.
So you have the Avengers are mixed in with the
movies? Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So dude just popped up on there, and the first thing you see him, that one captain, he had 50 ships, and he got his whole shit fucked up, and it wasn't by the sea, it was by Hawkeye. And Hawkeye pretty much hopped up on the scene. He hawked their ass down from the Grand Line. And it seems like he hawked them down just to finish whooping their ass. They had 50 ships. Got their ass beat by one dude. And then one ship got away. And the Grand Line, that shit ain't close. That shit's not cool to navigate. He said, I don't give a fuck. I'm finna come finish beating your ass. I don't know what the hell they did to Hawkeye, but man, I wouldn't fuck with that dude. I saw him cut a fucking ship in half with 3 swords. And that was probably like the most intense feat I've seen on One Piece yet. And that shit was real. This he had, I don't think he had 3 swords. I think he had 1 sword.
Once.
It chopped the shit 3 times. He chopped the ship in thirds.
Paul Bunyan over here.
That's 4th actually. Paul Bunyan is hell. So yeah, that's where I'm at in One Piece. So I'm actually excited right now because there's some shit going on. And Sanji, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be the new guy on Luffy's crew. And that shit's cool. Yeah, shit's picking up. I'm liking it right now. But either way, we have Dan here, and we're gonna talk about Dan things. So here's the earliest you'll ever get to the DLC. Dan, take it away.
Well, this week at the DLC, which would be data loading computers. So the DLC.
Okay.
We have in the news was a lot of issues as far as with the school shooting that happened in Florida, and everybody coming up with ideas and possible solutions, and basically trying to get them advertised as possible like fixes or regulations. And I know one of the more important things that is being advertised is Trump finally came forward and said that they're going to start implementing concealed carries for teachers, for trying to help protect students if somebody were to bring in a gun.
Right.
I mean, my opinion for this would probably be that you shouldn't have to arm every single teacher in a school. I know a majority of schools, they have security guards on staff, and it's their jobs and their training and everything is already implemented for them to be able to counter a possible conflict with whether it be a school shooting or a bomb threat. So as far as arming all your teachers and giving them weapons, you're gonna open up a Pandora's box of possible other things, as far as an angry student or a teacher misreading a situation and enforcing force, or misunderstandings of like threats, and that's gonna be all over the place. But yeah, I think that if your school is bad enough where you need to start arming your teachers, or you're that scared, there's other solutions such as like metal detectors, or beefing up staff for your security guards, or if you don't have a security guard at all, hiring a security guard. So I mean, I think right now a big trending topic for 2018 is the memes after this stuff. I know I found a couple of funny ones. It's always like, "Oh Jimmy, I thought I told you to spit your gum out." So you don't know. There's so many students, so many schools, so many teachers, and not every school is a threat. Like, I mean, if you were to be, say, Chicago, for example, a CPS school has a higher threat of a weapon being brought to school compared to a suburban school. But
I like this because now we can actually get cultural about this. So a lot of the times when we're seeing like the school shootings and stuff, it's usually in like some little some suburban school or whatever. It's a grade school. It probably, the things that I noticed, because I used to live in Arkansas when I was in grade school, all of the schools over there, they're secluded. So they're not surrounded by like the city like that. You know, they're like deep within a residential block. And, you know, if you just look at a lot of grade schools that aren't really in the city like that, when they're in the suburbs, they're in a secluded area. So they're really not close to like police stations, anything like that. But like even in Chicago, you know, all these schools are right there in front of you. And, you know, people, you know, it's understanding how Chicago is. So we have security guards and stuff like that. Even at the school that I work at, because I work at a school. We have TF North, TF South in the center, and TF North, TF South, they have that's in the suburbs. It's not a great suburb, but they have police officers literally duty in the building, you know. So and that's, you know, for whatever reason, that it is what it is. And also the fact that the high school's not, you know, 5 miles away from the police station or from the fire station. It seems like those are kind of issues that, you know, people run into. But on the flip side of that, like for teachers being armed in the city, I work at a alternative school just about, and the kinds of kids you get in there, you get a lot of gang violence, you know. So if you're dealing with, these serious ass gangs or whatever, and you got a 16-year-old deep within that shit, and they bring up some bullshit in the school, and you got folks coming in taking shit over. I mean, we've never seen this before, but what's to stop that from happening? So, I mean, on that end, I can kind of understand that shit. There's kids that bring in, we've caught plenty of kids coming in with weapons, like from knives to guns and all types of shit, and then even stuff that we haven't found. We got, there's certain things that you have to be able to take into account as far as what kind of school it is. I would think, because don't schools in like the country, aren't their teachers armed for, like, when they have like animals and shit
really.
like that?
They have they like tranquilizers as far as like in the wilderness, like in the boonies, but
super boonies.
But mostly out there, it's everybody's pro gun, so most people have their typical go to your pickup truck and pull your shotgun out because everybody's hunting, or they'll have it on them for after school. So you don't have problems where, as far as like a more suburban school, they don't really want the weapons in that community. So if you have an instance as far as a school shooting, then you are really at the how fast can like police respond, or SWAT, or who is a concealed carry. And I know in Chicago downtown, concealed carry doesn't really mean anything. It's mostly like the Springfield area, the Urbana, the cornfields, as I call
the Urbana area.
So because like downtown, like you're saying, it could be misinterpreted, whereas if someone pulls out a gun, it could be thought of in a bunch of different ways, of someone reacting bad, someone's like they're not even thinking, and then they retaliate or something. I know we just had a big story recently where a off-duty cop was he had his gun with him concealed, and then there was like a huge heist, basically. It was like Grand Theft Auto style, and the dude was running and gunning, and like fortunately the cop had a gun. He passed away in the instance, but he stopped the guy before he was able to make the matter worse. And like there's a couple stories out there where it's like that, and I feel like that's where a gray area is between anti-gun and pro-gun, where like pro-guns are like, well, if everybody has a gun, then you can stop the bad people, whereas the anti-gun is like, well, if anybody can get a gun, then that means bad people can get a gun. So you have like this weird area where nobody really knows what to do in that situation, and that's why there's so much conflict. I mean, for me, I'm pro-gun, but I'm also pro-regulation. Like Illinois has regulations, and not that many people know about it because they haven't done the research. And I know I wouldn't mind if everybody had to do it, or if I had to go through a stricter process, because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I'm not going to go through this whole process in order for me to legally be able to walk into a movie theater or whatever it is. So anything to make it safe, and I don't like people that try to talk without having research knowledge, like arguing without emotion, because there's a lot of crazy people out there that don't really have a say and are coming up with like these ludicrous ideas. But in our generation, everybody's right. Yeah. So
I mean, and even with that though, like on the other end of that, just with Chicago being the way it is, like you can understand why people are very passionate about really not having any guns at all. Well, I think we had a debate about this last week before we started the show, and I think like really what it came down to was like, people can have guns, but the thing is, you have to have responsible people with those guns,
and the method is to make those people responsible.
Exactly. So when people, they're fighting on, the farthest ends of each argument, where people are saying there should be no guns at all, no one should have guns, government shouldn't have guns. It's like, that's stupid. And at the same time, it's like, oh, everyone should have guns. 13-year-olds should have guns. That's stupid. Yeah. So
you know what's actually funny is I just bought Grand Theft Auto 5. I had it for PlayStation 3, sold it when I got my PlayStation 4, and then I decided to get it again. So they got me. But anyway, on one of the radio channels that I was driving around, there actually had a bit about mandatory concealed carry. Basically,
Yeah.
everybody needs to have a weapon.
When they be having those little dumbass commercials,
Yeah, and it was interesting because it was like, I don't know if there's a feature in the game where it pulls off stuff, or if they update those things. But I mean, Grand Theft Auto came out how long ago?
So long ago.
And like this was current. Like this is like I just
gotta
saw
look into that actually.
this.
That's that because they do kind of be on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's just interesting how much of a like topic this is, whether it is from police brutality, whether it is from gang violence, whether it is from school shooting and public safety, whether it is for like hunting regulations. Like, guns are a part of our society, and they're not going to go anywhere, I believe, anytime soon. But rules do need to be implemented, just like everything else. As far as like airplanes, people say now they have security, you have security after this, and then you have at sporting events and movie theaters, now there's countermeasures because of events. Like, stuff needs to start being implemented as far as regulations. But like what you were saying, the extremes of no guns or all guns, like that's not feasible.
And on top of that, you know, having these regulations, they're not just there. Like, people really need to just shut the hell up. And if we're having regulations, have the fucking regulations. Like, if you're not trying to kill people, it shouldn't matter. So, you know, like, there's clearly people are dying from people abusing the usage of guns. So if you're not a damn monster, just shut up and wait an extra month for your background check. You know, like, come on, dude. No, you can't have your rifle in the bank. We're sorry. Like, come on.
So I mean, it's interesting to see where it'll go, what changes are actually put in. I know now, actually, as far as my understanding, this is going to be the most federal push for regulations. Before, it's always been state-based. So I know everybody's all over Trump about he was the one that repealed the Obama-era regulations as far as background checks. But now he's implementing basically the same laws, but more hell-bent towards mental illness, which I honestly think there's a method to his madness of trying to get better solutions towards mental illness, not just for guns, but for America as a whole, whether it be addiction or bipolar or suicide. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. I know.
Dan, are you praising Donald Trump?
I'm not praising Donald Trump, but I mean, it's he gets such a bad rap, and he's making efforts. And what I don't understand is people want something done, but then when something's done and it's not what they want, it's still bad. Or if something is done, it's like, oh, he should have done this. It's like, people aren't understanding. Like, we went from nothing to now something. Like, you can't move a mountain in a day. Like, so that's all I have for the DLC.
That's mature. All right, y'all. We'll be back with So. All right, y'all. Welcome back. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our NBA topic since Jordan ain't here. Hey, Jordan. I ain't on that today though. I'm trying not to be on that today. But either way, so we got my man Sohan right here. So Sohan, he's been day one really with the stuff. He's behind the scenes helping me out with stuff, giving me information on things or whatever. And he's also UIC alum like the rest of us, or most of us. And so he's actually gonna give us some good NBA content. So I'll let you explain who you are, but I just want to let the folks know that this is an actual legitimate guest. Reasons being, this is Tim Rover's nephew. You know what I'm saying? So he actually has some knowledge on. This is the only person, like, if somebody tells me something about some NBA stuff, I'm gonna defer a little bit to So. But outside of that though, Sohan, he's a music producer as well. He's been, really putting out a lot of stuff.
Entrepreneur, CEO of a startup.
There's all types of stuff. So this is my guy right here. So let them know who you are, man.
Yeah, man. My name is Sohan Grover. Music producer, CEO of startup, doing all types of stuff. Just a pure hustler. You know what I'm trying to say.
All right. So go ahead and just get into some NBA stuff. And as you guys know, the All-Star weekend just wrapped up. Regular season started back up. I want to say that Wednesday, either that Wednesday or that Thursday last week.
Yeah, Thursday, I think.
Yeah. We had a couple of games. Nothing really too crazy. It's another regular season. What a lot of people don't know though is that since the NBA season started earlier this year, the All-Star break really didn't change. So usually it's like a half and half situation where it's like that's the first half to the second half. where right now I think they only really
It
got
was
about
like 3/4 of the way.
yeah, like they only got about like 28 games or something like
24,
that.
yeah.
24, yeah, something like that. So fuck with you. But yeah, so this is really the latter end of the season. So the way the standings are right now, they'll change a little bit, but I think they're kind of set. You're not going to see no crazy ass jumps like that, right?
Oh, I mean, the West is crazy. I mean, there's like 5 teams that have 26 losses. In the
I think
column,
from OKC down to like the 10th seed.
Even like Minnesota, like the Clippers are still in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know that for the 5th through 8th seed out west that's a damn shit show.
Did you see the game last night where Zaza fell on Westbrook?
He was mad as he dirty.
Dirty as hell.
Zaza's dirty. Zaza's dirty.
You know what? I think he is, because I mean, this is not his first time doing it. This is like his 4th or 5th time doing this. It's not like something that's common to see a player doing this kind of stuff.
I was thinking that too. Like before, like people were saying that he's dirty, and I'm like, you know what? Like he's just been getting caught up on dumb plays. The only reason why I said that is because I remember KD, he got hurt that first season when they, but that was because he clumsy. I'm just thinking he clumsy, but he be doing some
No, like
shit.
last night he fell on top. There was no way, like there was no push, there was no shove. You could see like clearly he just fell on top of him. There was no like instant like he could have just stood up and nothing would have happened. So.
We'll have to talk about that one because that one kind of blows me. But the one thing that I did notice was Cleveland's first loss with the new look Cavs. And so when they made the trades, when they got Larry Nance, they got everybody they need to get, Jordan Clarkson and them, Ronnie Hood. They had a pretty hot 2 games. They were getting it in, but coming off of this All-Star break, they just took an L to Washington.
Was it Washington?
Yeah, it was Washington. They took it L to Washington without Bradley Beal, or without John Wall. Bradley Beal pretty much was, he was running the team. And first thing, I don't know if it's my lack of NBA knowledge, but I mean, I feel like I'm pretty up to date, pretty hip on that stuff. But I ain't know who the hell their point guard was for Washington. It was some foreign guy. I think he's either foreign or white. I don't remember his name, but
was it like something with a long ass
last
S name?
Yeah, it was an S.
Something like that.
But I'm just like, I don't know who this guy is. So I'm looking at the highlights of the game. Shout out Oprah Side, what's good? But I'm looking at the highlights of the games, and I'm like, they really are losing to nobodies. And the reason why they bought in, one of the reasons why they bought in the core that they did was that they wanted to get younger, and they wanted to get faster, and they wanted to get better defense. And when I was looking at the highlights of that game, that defense looked damn near identical to what it was before, where you seeing wide open dunks in the lane, dips, dives, all types of stuff. Nobody's cutting anybody off. No one's helping. Like I saw Gortat low-key dunked LeBron ass like the first quarter, like the first 5 minutes of the game. I'm like, the hell going on?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it's also a mix of the defense, which has not gotten any better, and also like the 3-point shooting has even gotten worse in my opinion. Like, yes, they won like a few games beforehand, but I mean, it wasn't going down in Washington. And like, if they go through a whole series in the playoffs like that, there's no way they're going to make it to the finals if they go cold like that. I still think they will make it to the finals because it's just the East, but I mean, I can't see them being the Warriors or even the Rockets if they get that far. So like, because they could go cold any series.
All right, scoot up a little bit. So with that one, the thing that I noticed, and like you said with the 3-point shooting, a lot of people just base stuff off the numbers. So when they brought in what's the light skinned fella, the point guard,
George Hill?
Yeah, when they brought in George Hill, and they were talking about his 3-point field goal percentage. I think it was like some stupid like 47%, and I'm like, we know George Hill. You know who George Hill is.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying the boy can't shoot, but
that's all he did for Indiana. So.
Yeah, but I know for a damn fact he ain't out here stroking that bitch like a real 47%. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many shots?
But then again, who was watching him on Utah? Who's
watching him? But even he switched over to Sacramento.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
That's one thing right there. The fact that you couldn't stay there, but so you're over at Sacramento. You know how Sacramento's record is. So if you're wetting it at 47%, and you're like damn near last in the Western Conference, close to last in the NBA.
It's skewed a little bit. So.
It's skewed. I'm not trying to hear that one. I know people are really high about Rodney Hood.
But wouldn't you have to be taking more threes since you're, in a higher percentage, you're in a weaker team, though?
I don't know. Like, Sacramento's so bad that we can't even put, like, that basic kind of assumption on them. You don't know what the hell they're doing in Sacramento.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
You just don't. It's not. And then the fact that they're out west, so the games come on at 11:30.
Yeah.
And then too, nobody's playing them, so you're never really gonna see a Sacramento game like that. Same way people out west don't see Nets games.
Right. That is very true. So,
but even with that, we got the rest of those guys. We got Larry Nance, we got Rodney Hood, and like I know people really appreciated Rodney Hood. They feel like he's like one of the most underrated players in the league right now, and that that could be true. He could be really underrated, but being underrated and actually being like having star power, being able to be that guy and be like certified stamped, you're that dude that's out here scoring like that. It's two different things.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like JR, somebody sips JR somewhere, JR, he gonna give you some games.
I stated to a friend when I was watching the game the other night about JR, I was like, whatever happened to his hops? Yeah. Remember when he used to like jump over everybody and was athletic and was like, all he does is shoot threes now and doesn't do anything else.
I mean, you gotta think about he's old now though. People really don't think about how old J.R. Smith is.
No, because I mean he kind of doesn't act like it.
He's been in the league. He's been in the league for so long.
Yeah, but I mean, like the way he acts, you wouldn't think that he was like.
Yeah. He to me he remind me of like your drunk uncle at the barbecue that don't be doing shit, he just be there all the time smoking weed.
But somehow he's good at that.
Somehow.
Somehow you be busting him off.
Yeah, so with all that, we're talking about the roster of Cleveland, but I mean everybody got real excited about it off of those first couple of games, and I'm like, they're good. They're better. They're better, but they're not that much better. You're not that much better. No. Larry Nance is good, but he ain't that.
I think the
good.
Lakers got such a great deal out of it because I mean they have room for cap space. They can even land LeBron if they wanted to, plus an extra superstar. They have the ability to double up on max contracts. Yeah. And so what that does is you can land two of the biggest names possible, but if you only land one, you got enough money to really fill up that bench. And the Lakers are not that far off, to be honest with you, in their rebuilds. They're almost done, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, besides the fact that I think Kuzma is better than Lonzo and everything like that. Yeah. So, but I think like if based on what the Lakers do this summer, if they make a decent move to get, because they said Kawhi might be out of there, it could trade around for him. But you see, I don't like Kawhi quite anymore because of the injury. I know he's not, but that's still even Kawhi. If Kawhi was better than Luol Deng. I mean, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kawhi may not be that guy, but they don't need that guy. But what if Kawhi's like Derrick Rose now and like keeps getting injured over and over because he hasn't played for almost 2 years now, so it's like it could be going down that road. So, but like PG. If PG decides to go over there, if they do have the ability to land a LeBron. But PG is like one of those mid-level superstars where it's like he's good, but he's not a big game changer like he was in Indiana. But that's why we say that the Lakers, their rebuild is damn near done because they don't need a gigantic 5-star superstar. If they can land like a 4.5-star guy and grab a couple of 3 stars, their team's solid. You got some decent bigs or some decent 4s. Maybe grab a couple of bigs and then get a little bit of star power. And they have such young talent. And I think next year if they make a B. If they get a B over the summer as far as the moves they make, their rebuild officially be over. Like I think they'll be within playoff contention. I'm not saying high seeds, but within contention. They can be like Denver
they can come back to be Denver or Portland.
Speaking of Denver, Jokic is probably the best underrated player in the NBA right now. Like, this man has put up a triple-double in like 14 minutes. That was sick. That was unbelievable.
You're right. Like, I feel like a lot of people really...
And Denver is such a hard place to play. Like, you know, once they could start winning on the road, like if they start like making the playoffs and they could get like a home like court advantage, it's so difficult to win in Denver because of the altitude. It's like such a huge home court advantage, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, like Denver is a team to look out for, even though no one's talking about either. So
it's just like whenever people talk about like the most underrated players, like we talk about Ronnie Hood, like.
Yeah,
Jokic, Ronnie Hood is not Jokic.
No, Jokic is unbelievable.
You know, like that's an underrated player. That's a guy where if you bring him somewhere to like a Cleveland, that's a dude that's gonna make such a significant change to your roster.
And he's probably the best passing big man I've ever seen.
Dude, he's like the dimes. Like it's like damn near every game he's giving you a no look. Right there.
And this is like a 7-foot center.
Right.
Like,
and he's so skilled.
Yeah.
And even though he's not the most athletic dude, like he still has enough athleticism to move with you.
I feel like that just comes with the foreign package. Like you're just gonna get skilled players. Like there's so much more, you know, defined, you know, than American players. American players are just way more athletic and get overpowered that way. But
the skill set's not as crisp as usually a foreign guy's is.
Right. You know, like the foreigners could shoot. Like they could do like all the basics.
That's why like Lauri's, you know, he's so skilled.
Right, he's so skilled.
He's a little bit athletic, so it's like, damn, you get.
He's like a little bit more of an athletic Dirk, which is kind of scary. To be honest with you.
Because you know if you get a good roster around him, and the Bulls actually develop him, and that'd be nuts.
Well, the Bulls got a long way to go, in my opinion. I mean, I've seen progress this year, where it's like with that 10-game winning streak, that like, okay, they got a bright future, but they still have a really long way to go.
You know what was super low key, and it goes with this, is for the All-Star weekend when it was Team World versus Team USA. Dude, Team World looked good. Like the guys they had on there, like.
But to be honest with you, I expected Team World to like just dominate because
just like that shows you like that balance of power where it's like, all right, the United States is just so overwhelmingly good. It's like, nah, these other countries are really starting to catch back up.
No, I mean, like, if you even the preseason, the games, you know, they'll bring over teams from, like, Europe. Like, they'll bring in over, like, Real Madrid to play, like,
and, like, it's a couple of times so they get a W.
And, like, these European teams will get a W, and you'll never expect them to. I mean,
we don't talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it.
And you would never expect it to because, like, the NBA, you know, I guess the teams will take it easy, won't play their, like, starters the full way or whatnot. But regardless, though, you're still an NBA team. I mean, you lose to, like, you know, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Like, you know how much these NBA players are making versus how much these guys are making.
Can you imagine soccer if like those Real Madrid, Barcelona would lose to like MLS teams?
Oh God,
like,
it wouldn't even work.
Fuck, like, can you imagine that?
Yeah, it wouldn't go.
Like that's how I feel about.
This is the same thing. That's like I hate how we don't talk about it. I think like the OKC had lost to a team like that. I know. Orlando did before.
OKC almost lost to an Australian team in the preseason. Like it was like something like Melbourne, something
close
like
as hell.
Close as hell. Yeah.
Close as hell.
Like, you know, it's kind of crazy, you know, and it's like, you know, maybe the NBA isn't the exact best. You know, you gotta think about these things. Even like, you can see in the Olympics, like, where it's like, you know, where these players would struggle. Like, I would see Klay Thompson struggle out there in the Olympics. And it's like, this man's making threes that, like, you know, in front of two players in his face and everything like that. I can't make an open shot in the Olympics. Like, what's going on?
And it even goes to like track and field day. I know you notice that too. Like Team USA, they're usually the most athletic team, but the teams will lose to other guys that are more skilled. And that's the thing. It's like when you're skilled.
So it's like Jamaica is more skilled, or like
no, Jamaica's just for faggots. They're skilled as hell, and they're more athletic. Yeah, but right. So it's just. A lot of the times we'll see foreign countries are usually more skilled in like field events and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But the United States, they usually just more powerful or whatever.
Of course, they get overpowered.
And it's gotten to the point where it's like their skill set is kind of still stayed there. It's still like pretty much well above ours.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, now people are learning how to work out. People are learning how to, versus taking that time to get the skill. It's like,
Right.
I already got the skill. You telling me I just got to go squat a little bit? Oh, bet. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, it makes everything a lot more easier.
Spain out here squatting like a mud. Getting hops and shit.
No, that makes a lot more sense, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
and
you,
it's the same thing. It seems like that's like how athleticism throughout the world is going on. Where the United States was that powerhouse just off of athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of these countries are catching up, and you can see it in a multitude of sports.
Right, of course, and to reverse on that, if we could, like from NBA to like soccer, if that's cool. Like I feel like that's kind of similar to what's happening, because we're playing catch up to the world, in my opinion, but like
soccer, how skilled is soccer though?
But you see, the thing is though, is that like there's certain sports like soccer where it's like skills like outweigh every single physical aspect, because if you don't have the skill, you can't play at all, because you could be the fastest, strongest, whatever, but if you don't have like the nicest
coordination,
touch, yeah,
if you don't have the coordination,
you can't do it, and like I feel like that's something that like we have to learn and pick up and whatnot. It's the skill asset, because sooner or later in the Olympics of basketball, like America's not going to win by 20 anymore. America's going to lose a lot of games
in
soon.
20 years.
So, like,
these are going to be actual games.
Yeah, these are actually going to be competitive games, and it's going to be more like soccer, where it's like it's an open field for anybody, so.
And for everyone, that's what competition is. All right, y'all, we'll be back with gaming. All right, y'all, welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and get into our gaming segment today. This is what we have, so we'll go ahead and just get into it or whatever. So I was talking to Dan on the way here, and he said that he actually has a surprise for us as far as GameStop info.
Yeah. So I think it was like 2 or 3 videos ago we were bashing GameStop about how they are crooks and stuff, but this whole week
they are.
Yeah, I mean they still are, but this whole week I got an email. I'm a pro member. So basically you pay money to get how you should be treated. And so on yesterday the 23rd they had a pro day sale, so all pro members were able to get special deals and whatnot. So I learned about this on Wednesday, and I took 3 days to plot my revenge. And so I made sure my account was current so that they can't pull any bullshit at the register. And I had Need for Speed Payback, which I ended up beating, and I had Assassin's Creed Origin, which I didn't really like. So I returned both of those games, but I also, on their weekly deals magazine, which is separate from the pro day,
the little bullshit
yeah
paper.
So it was a separate deal. They said that if you return a controller you get $30 credit towards another, like a new controller that just came out. And so
you told me that earlier, and I was like, I thought that was a really good thing. I'm like, hold on, so they just gonna give you $30 for a controller?
Well, it was like one of the limited edition, more expensive controllers. So instead of like a $59.99 controller, right, this is like a $72.99.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So how much would you get for a controller if you just bought it in itself?
I'm not sure.
$15.
Yeah. Right. $12.99. But so I looked up what my value would be for my games, and they were both like $24 each. So I was like, okay, right there's $48, and then I had the credit for the microphone, or for the controller. And so I walked in, I made sure they were out of stock of the controllers for that the deal was going for. So I brought out my controller. I was like, oh, like here's their promotion for the $30 credit.
Right.
And I was like, I have my controller. I was like, can I do this? And the guy's like, oh, we don't have any, but he's like, I'll give you $30 towards a controller. I was like, okay. So I gave him like a bullshit controller that was broken anyway. And then, so he was about to ring me up. I was like, oh, wait, I forgot. I still have 2 games. So I handed him the 2. Because that way they don't sit here and be like, oh, well, you got the 2 games. Then they weren't going to give me the $30 credit. Yeah. So I got the 2 games plus the controller. So I had like a $78 credit.
Damn, Dan.
Yeah. So
you got the quality of a PS4.
So and then I looked at the pro membership and Grand Theft Auto. Like I said during the DLC, I ended up buying again. It was like 50% off. So a game that was normally $60, I got for $30.
The thing that blows me is that Grand Theft Auto, like you said, it's been out forever. Why is that shit still full price if you buy it brand new?
Yeah, I mean it's a
Wait,
good,
it's still full price.
It's
Yeah,
still
so
full
if you go to buy it, it's still $59.99.
Rockstar, what are y'all on?
I mean it's a quality game. I mean I would say that with all the content, the quality of the game,
I'm not gonna disagree with
it's
you
right
and say
there.
that,
that is true.
it's worth
Yeah, I
it.
mean,
It's worth it as hell. I'm not saying
So
that.
like I don't understand why Madden right now is still freaking $30 after all the struggles.
That is
like
I mean, of course, you know.
so, but yeah, I had a $70 credit. I bought the Grand Theft Auto and brand new plastic still on it and everything for $30. So I had $48 left. I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just get another controller. I made some bullshit excuse up saying that I have a red one, I want a blue one, and then he opened up the cabinet and he had blue and then a crystal clear, and I was like, I'll go crystal clear. So he got the controller for me, so I ended up getting a brand new $70 controller, brand new $60 Grand Theft Auto. After everything, especially with the Crook County taxes, it was like $22. So I lost $22.
Y'all ain't peeped that. Y'all ain't
Nah,
Chicago. You wouldn't know what Crook County is.
Crook County.
So so I definitely got my revenge for them, and I walked away happy. So
That's wonderful.
I'm set till the next Black Friday coming around. I'll start planning. I'll get my tack board out, get my deals going.
Damn, finessed everything.
And that's the whole system.
GameStop's not getting me anymore.
Hey, we got a video like that. That's gonna be stupid. I'm surprised the Grand Theft Auto is still $59.99. Like I understand. Like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
definitely.
It's 100% worth it. Like if you don't
But
have
not even
any
like
money,
$10 off or
that's what I'm
something,
saying.
you know?
Or like even like $6 something. Give me
It's been
53.
it's been out for like 5 years or something like
It's
that.
PlayStation 3, I had it, and I was a sophomore in college.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the PS3 version is probably still pretty. It's got to be over $40.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Rockstar, they have Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out, which is basically Wild Wild West of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know Redemption 1 is only on PlayStation 3, and that's still pretty expensive. So it'll be interesting to see with Red Dead coming out on platforms how the value will be on those, and then finally up the future of 6. So I think when we're setting up the set, we were talking about the possibilities that they're brainstorming at, but I mean, value goes up. But I know you were talking about your TV expedition with the prices at Walmart.
Yeah.
So he got Walmart back. We're taking stores.
So Walmart right now, they got Walmart do their rollbacks or whatever. Walmart,
Yeah.
it's a good deal. I gave Walmart. Okay, I'll give you that. So everybody got the taxes and stuff back, and I was responsible when I took care of my important things, and I had some bread left over. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna go treat yourself. So me and Ash were looking for a TV, and wasn't gonna get anything tonight. Had to get something 4K because it's getting to a point where it's dumb to not get 4K.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm looking around. I was like gang of pawn shops, and I'm looking at the prices and pricing them out, and I finally get on Walmart, and Walmart had a 58-inch 4K Ultra HD Samsung with the super motion rate or whatever. And that one was 58-inch for $528. And I'm like, damn, I'm looking, I'm like, that number seems really low for 58 inch.
$10 an inch, yeah.
Like that seems really, really low. So I'm looking at these other prices and stuff, and I'm like, damn, that bitch used to be $800.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the hell they were doing, but for some reason they had the 55-inch. It was same TV, but it was just the 55-inch. That one was like $499. So I'm like, for $30, I can get 3 more inches.
Yeah, $10 an inch.
So I'm like, that's a good. I'm not gonna buy the 55. And then just looking at the other stuff, I think they had the TLCs, TCL. Like I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what it's called. It's something.
I don't know.
It's one of them
The
combinations of numbers.
and the Hydrovas and stuff like that.
They had those for like $600. And shit. I'm like, did I just find like a really, really good deal? And even when I went to the pawn shop, I saw like the same TV. They had the 60-inch of it. That was, it wasn't the QLED. It was just the 4K UHD. And it was like, what was it? $600 for the 60-inch. And the screen was broke. Like it legit had lines through the screen.
Oh, wow.
At the pawn shop, and I'm like, the pawn shop. I went to Cash America. I think they're not bad on prices.
No.
They're not bad on prices.
They're okay.
They're okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, is this deal that good? And I went and copped it. I felt like I just stole some shit. I felt like I stole something.
There's always like, I know right around now is the end of the time schedule for models before the new models come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I know stores have some pretty ridiculous prices, but they're hidden gems. Like it's those people that sit down and do their research. Like you did. You caught it by chance, and now you have a 58 incher.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
So what did you upgrade from? Like a 42 inch?
Nah, we went from. I actually had an older Philips. I want to say it was a
Philips. What was that, plasma?
Had the big box in the back and everything.
It was a smart TV.
That's a huge upgrade.
It was a smart TV. No, it was a 48 inch. It was just 1080 or whatever. But it was a really older smart TV. So to go from that 48 to that 58, man, that was, like it looks great. And the cut, like I was trying to decide between that because I think they had another one. I think it was a Philips. I think they had a Philips for a 55 inch for $399, and I'm like, and that one was 4K too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, there's a strong ass price difference between this 55. You know what I'm saying? And then even with the 55 inch for the Samsung, the 55 inch for the Samsung was $499.
Mm-hmm.
The Philips was $399. And like I had to look into the details a little bit more. I'm like, man, like that's $100. But now I'm like, I'm glad I went with that damn Samsung, dude. That picture quality, just watching Netflix. Like I'm a weirdo. I like the soap opera effect. So that's like when you're watching regular TV and everything looks like a soap opera. That's from them crazy ass frame rates. Like I freak out about that shit.
The true motion and
Man.
HDR high def but I mean, like you said, you treat yourself. I know recently bought a TV during Black Friday because I was fed up with mine and I had money left over. But I'm not a decision maker, so you probably went in and you probably saw the prices. You're like, I want that one. Like I went to Best Buy. The dude got bored and started helping other customers out.
That's hilarious.
Sitting there. You gotta look at the HDMI ports, the true motion. You gotta look at the how much power is it using across the whole lifespan. Then for me, it's like, okay, well, you have two ports that are 4K, one 60 foot, and then you're looking at the other one. Well, is it really worth it because you have surround sound Adobe 6.1,
right?
But this one has 7.1 and it's $30 more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of that shit. And you know what's crazy too? Another shout out to Samsung because I remember me and Jordan went to Best Buy. It was funny because it's like I took Jordan to Best Buy and I felt
remember,
like
it's a 15-day return policy.
15
for
days.
Best Buy.
Oh, 15
Please
days.
remember that.
15 days.
Remember that. But nah, me and Jordan went to Best Buy. And like I get real excited when I talk about TVs, and he ain't know shit about TVs.
No, he's not technical.
So I had to show him like, all right, son, come here, let me show you, kid. And so the one of the biggest things that I like about Samsung is that they are straight up with you about what it is that you're getting, what it is you're missing, what it is that you're not missing. So like, if you look at Samsung TVs at Best Buy, they'll always have the motion rate of it. So it's either 60, 120, and it's not like
true 40, true
yeah.
motion.
So, but they'll actually tell you that, and it's the reason why Samsung TVs look better. It's the reason why the screen of a Galaxy looks better. And we'll come back to that, but like they'll tell you what it is they're doing. They'll tell you what's inside of this machine. Yep. And if you go around and you look at like Sony TVs, you look at Vizios, you look at Philips, you look at these other ones, they'll really hold off a lot of information from you. Like Sony has a chart of all the TVs they had at Best Buy, and one of the things that they missed the section of the motion rate. Mm-hmm. It literally the thing didn't have the motion rate.
Yeah, well, they have that brilliant technology, and they're trying to sell that.
They're trying to sell that, but if you look at the actual description of it, it'll say 60. Mm-hmm. It'll say 60. It won't say 120. No. Even I'm talking about for like the 80 inchers, like the big dollar ones.
Yeah.
Like I think they maybe have like 2 or 3 TVs. Sony has 2 or 3 TVs that are actually like 120 or at least 2, you know, or trying to push that to 40. Like their big TVs are 120. The rest of them, like a 58 inch. it's gonna be 120, but it'll have that brilliant whatever, and it'll say it mimics 120, but it's actually 60.
Yeah,
and that's why Samsung shit
Vizio
looks better.
does that. Like I had my first big purchase for a TV. I went from like a 32-inch, like what was it, like Tech Planet or Planetronic or something, like something not even made in America. And then I went from a 32 to a 50-inch Vizio, and like the main purpose of getting the Vizio was 4K, and I was shopping around looking at all the different fads and technology, and like Vizio tweaks the language on their boxes like by a little bit, and their model numbers are like they mimic the next advanced stuff to try to get those customers. So I spent like a bunch of money on it was, instead of HDR, it was like UHD, which is supposed to be the same thing, but I mean,
it's not.
Blu-ray players don't understand UHD, so it's not going to work with UHD. It's HDR, and then they have, I know OLED and QLD are the next technology for as far as
they'll do the same thing.
So they came out with XLED, which is like it's the same thing, but it's not
the same thing at all. It's not the same thing at all.
So that's why I'll never buy anything Vizio, even if I have to pay $200-$300 more, because they're basically like knockoff Nikes or Adidas with 2Ds or something like that.
That's really what it is, and it's just like you everybody wants to bite off of Samsung, and everybody wants to make fun of Samsung, but if you really know what you're talking about, it's ridiculous. When people have the whole iPhone versus Android thing, like, no, we're not gonna. You can talk about Android if you want to, but like a Note is better than your phone.
Yep.
I don't give a damn if the bitch did blow up. The bitch blew up. They made another one, and it's still better than your phone. When it was blowing up, it was better than your phone. Like. You guys are tripping. Like, Samsung is out here making shit. Whatever Samsung puts out, like, you're getting good quality. And if it's not, they'll fix it. Yeah. They'll take care of it.
I mean, like, what I think, Sohan, you said that you're a Samsung guy.
Yeah.
Like, you have the Samsung. Is that you have the Note? I have the Samsung 8.
Galaxy.
I've got a Gear 2 Samsung watch. Like you said, you just buy a Samsung TV. So, I mean, as far as technology-wise, I see it as quality. Like you were saying, if you actually know your shit and you're not just chasing names. Like, like I think we had Apple because none of us had Samsung computers. Like, we were college kids.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing. Yeah, I don't have.
So, but like Samsung isn't known for their processing powers of computers. Like obviously, Apple, that's what they put most of their time and effort in,
and that's fine.
And I guess we have it, but.
And besides, I wouldn't want to change, the computer standpoint.
And people say like, oh, it's because you never had iPhone. Like, I switched to Samsung because of my iPhone sucked so much. Like,
exactly.
And like it was iPhone 4S, and at the time that was current.
Yeah.
And it still sucked, and that's why I switched. Now people are like, oh, the phones now. It's like, but the phones then weren't up to par.
You remember when we used to work at facilities, and we used to get those apps. We had to jailbreak the app. So we used to jailbreak the app on the phone, and when we had downtime, we would watch movies or whatever. And so I think it was a 4. It might have been a 4 or whatever.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, and I bought a cord for it so I could plug the phone up to the TV, and then everything was all cool. I'm like, we just did all of this shit. I bought a cord for this bitch. It's working. The Wi-Fi is good. Everything's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I get my first Galaxy. I'm like,
just screen share.
Dongle.
Yeah. Dongle, screen share.
Yeah, dongle.
Screen share.
Yeah.
And what's funny is people that do jailbreak their iPhones, it's because they want to customize everything.
Yeah,
like
and your warranty.
The whole platform of Samsung is customs, like more uniqueness, more phone that
it gives you more freedom.
Personalize your phone. As far as like an iPhone, like you change the background's the only thing that changes. Whereas in Samsung, if you change your theme, the design of the apps change, the background change, your text messaging, the backgrounds change. You can change the bubbles. So
did you have an iPhone?
No, I never did. I always been a
Samsung
guy. I never changed because I didn't need to. I mean, like, I've tried out iPhones with, like, siblings and family members, but I mean, I just didn't like it. I like the Samsung better. So
another thing that I did notice too when I went from a iPhone to a Samsung was like you would have a lot of trouble getting apps like. The third-party apps back in the day on the Apple Store, like they were non-existent. You couldn't do shit with your iPhone.
I feel like Samsung gives you more like gigabytes. Like I could download so many apps onto my phone. Like I have like 1 million apps on my phone.
Like they did this shitty thing where they tried to make the unibody, but they fixed it by allowing you to put storage in there. But like,
Yeah.
y'all, like, oh, just use the cloud. No, just let me put my fucking
SD
my memory card in there, dude. Get off my dick.
The only problem I have with Samsung is just the charging. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, because I think they're like charging the wires and the port is very, very faulty. That's the only problem
I'm
have with them.
having an issue with my phone. I know Jordan is too, and I think it's just a thing where right now with like the older phones, like the S6s.
Well, with Samsungs, they have a sort of like a magnetic strip in the back of them, the way their ports are. So they're only designed to have like a certain number of charges before that wear starts sitting in. And I know it's kind of to push towards people to upgrade their phones every year, but I mean, especially with Samsung, you can get by with 2 years with one phone. As far as Apple,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
good luck. Like especially like I did a lot of research because actually today, an hour ago, they just announced the Samsung 9, the Galaxy 9.
Yeah.
And a lot of the research into the new batteries, because of their issue with the Note 5, is they advance their technology so that the crystallization of the batteries are less. So a year later, your battery is still able to hold more charge than as like the current batteries or an Apple battery. So like that technology opens up the door for being able to keep phones open, especially with the wireless charger.
Yeah.
You actually
Yeah,
don't
I was
have to
gonna
have a
say-
physical.
I was gonna say, aren't they like the first ones to have like wireless charging?
Yeah,
also?
definitely.
Back in the
that
5,
was
I
like,
think
yeah.
it was. They had
Yeah.
And Apple, they came out
They
with
came
a phone
out,
case.
yeah.
It was, you had to actually buy a phone case to make it happen. But
It's nuts. And then we'll wrap it up. But that's another thing though. Like, even though this, like, I'm having trouble with my charging port, they'll tell you that there's an issue going on.
Oh yeah.
They'll give you it's like, okay, bring your phone in. One, if you're trading your phone in, you're gonna get good value. Like if I go to T-Mobile and I trade this in off the jump,
Yeah.
and that's bought, I'm gonna get a really good deal on the next phone.
Yeah.
And then if there is the issue, all right, there was the issue with this, wherever you trade this into, we'll give you more money towards it.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
they take care of the things. When they did make it without the SD slot, the very next year they came back to say, you know what, guys, we're gonna give you that shit back. And with the charging thing, they're working on the charging thing, and it's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Like it's shit right now, but on that 9, that charging
best-
is on
The best
on
part of Samsung is that they don't add those unnecessary bullshit accessories. You know,
Yeah.
like Apple always has that. Like you got like for the headphones, you have to plug some
no
stupid
headphone
wire.
port and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Like it's so stupid. Like
And they're trying to be innovative and it's not working.
No.
Like you guys can't do it like Samsung.
No.
Well, because they're working on the new iOS, or not iOS, but the new operating system,
Yeah.
which would have been the 8.2 Oreo.
Mhm.
They actually completely scrapped it because when they had their beta program, all 3 rounds, they were getting negative reviews. So instead of pushing that out to the phone and getting the
They said, "Screw it."
repercussions of
Research,
it,
yeah.
they just chopped it and starting fresh. And like, as far look at how many times you hear in the news with Apple, they're always like, "Oh, the iOS locks you out of your phone. It
Mhm.
locks you can't check your emails. Oh, you need your 24 hours later. They have this huge ass patch coming out to try to fix it. Like, why aren't you testing it? Like,
Right, why aren't you
you made this change to millions of phones, and then you have to fix this problem. So
And it's not even Apple, it's just iPhone. Like
Yeah.
you guys that are over here dick riding iPhones, like seriously, cut it out. Look at what you're doing. Like if we're talking about Macs, yeah, you can have that. Macs, that thing do its thing, but iPhones, man, like I don't know what to tell you guys. But either way, that's gonna wrap it up for the Dan and Jay show featuring DJ Dr. Sohan. But yeah, guys, we'll be back next week. Like I said, that super episode, be on the lookout for that on March 4th. We'll have the guys back for the for manga updates and everything. Of course, hopefully. We'll have some more more NBA content for you since the season will be a little bit more started. And if you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to do what it is you want to do. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and follow all social medias. And so what's your stuff, bro?
Okay, Instagram, Sohan Grover Beats. Also, I have a startup app. So if you guys want to go follow that, collaborate.
We'll put all that stuff in the description as well.
Yeah.
So, Daniel,
that's it for me.
peace. All That wasn't too bad at all.
No, that was actually really good.